Hello there, welcome to a preview of the Project Management Masterclass. Today, we're taking a look at questions from the process area. The intent is to give you small snippets of people, process, and business across 3 episodes and to get you into that mindset. Let's get into the process piece. Dash, help Agile teams using Scrum learn from its previous work on the product and its process. Is it lessons learned? Is it B, knowledge management? Is it C, retrospectives? Or is it D, work performance reports? 3, 2, 1. The best answer, according to the Agile Practice Guide, section 5.2.1, is retrospectives. Retrospectives help Agile teams using Scrum learn from its previous work on the product and its process. Let's go to our next question. The product owner often works with the team to prepare some stories for the upcoming iteration during one or more sessions in the middle of the iteration. The purpose of these meetings is to refine enough stories so that the team understands what the stories are and how large the stories are in relation to each other. What does this describe? Is it A, backlog refinement? Is it B, iteration planning? Is it C, sprint planning? Or is it D, sprint review? All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. The answer is A, backlog refinement. This is a ceremony that happens in the middle of the sprint, but it is not formally recognized in the Scrum Guide as a ceremony. It is not one of the 3-5-3 configurations from Scrum. You know, we say 3 roles, 5 ceremonies, and 3 artifacts. Well, the backlog refinement ceremony is not one of the formal 5, but it's an important one nonetheless, subliminal if you wish. A lot of teams recognize this as a ceremony, but the Scrum Guide, till date, though mentioned, does not see this as a formal ceremony. Let's go to the next question. You are the project sponsor for a new initiative. You have been approached by the project manager for direction on how to initiate the project. Which of the following sequences would you recommend? Is it A, business case, benefits management plan, needs assessment, project charter? Is it B, needs assessment, business case, benefits management plan, project charter? Is it C, benefits management plan, project charter, needs assessment, and business case? Or is it D, project charter, business case, benefits management plan, and needs assessment? You may need more time for this question in particular. Hit the pause button if you need it. Five, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Taking a look at the options. These options are listed in a particular sequence, and you can immediately see when something sticks out if you have great mastery of these items. The project charter should not be the first thing. That disqualifies option D. The benefits management plan should not be the first thing. That disqualifies option C. Option A says business case and benefits management plan before needs assessment. That is wrong. The correct answer is B. The needs assessment is first, then the business case. You could do the business case and jump between business case benefits management plan until you are done and proceed into the project charter. Definitely take a look at page 30 in the PMBOK Guide 6th edition. Next question. You have completed your review of the deliverable being created for your customer. The deliverable output does not reflect verification or acceptance by your quality team. What should the project management team do next? Is it A, control the project scope and prevent scope creep? Is it B, proceed to validate the project scope and obtain approval? Is it C, perform quality assurance and review any generated change requests? Is it D, carry out regression analysis and administrative closure? Five, four, three, two, and one. Let's end that poll and let's take a look at the answers. So, when you have reviewed a deliverable and it does not reflect verification by your quality team, it should not proceed any further without you getting down to the bottom of why that deliverable did not pass the test. So there are a number of ways you can look at this question, and there's quite an elaborate assortment of charts I would like to share with you before we move on to our final question. First of all, think about direct and managed project work as producing that deliverable. But in the background, you have managed quality. And that is because as you're creating a deliverable, you should be checking the process. That's exactly what we do in managed quality. Now, the deliverables, when produced, go to quality control or control quality, if you will. This is what is being described in the question. The deliverable went to control quality, but it was found to not be satisfactory enough to send further. So we had a change request of sorts. What should we do? Well, that change request, if approved, is going to go back into the pipeline. But there's something else that happens. Not only do you have a change request, you should also have some steps that precede the change request. And that step is from quality control, you are going to have a feedback loop that goes from control quality to manage quality. And this feedback loop contains some very important measurements, and it is known as quality control measurements. And a quality control measurement is used to deduce the reason for non-conformance of that product, service, or result as identified by the quality control team. So think about it like this. Yes, we could get change requests directly from control quality, but at the same time, we could get quality control measurements going to manage quality, and that giving us change requests as well that go into the perform integrated change control process. Now, understanding the flow of these processes used to be something that was needed for the exam on most fronts, but we don't hear a lot about it today. Nonetheless, the logic could help some people who get questions of this nature. So just remember, we could have a change request from managed quality for changes that are generated as a result of you analyzing those quality control measurements. And this is how you should view the question that we just looked at. Let's move on. Now we are done with understanding the logic. Going back to the question, we can see control the project scope and prevent scope creep is in the past, since the deliverable is already created. Then B, proceed to validate the scope and obtain approval. You can't do that because your deliverable does not reflect verification or acceptance. And D, carry out regression analysis is premature. This should be done in closed project or phase. So the best answer is perform quality assurance and review any generated changes. I hope that clarifies it. Next question. Your team is using Kanban as a method to complete project work. When is the best time to carry out a demo or review? Is it A, demo at the end of the iteration as all the scheduled work is complete? Is it B, when enough features have accumulated into a set that is coherent? Is it C, use the rule of 4-week cadence to demonstrate any completed tasks? Or is it D, Kanban uses group approval, has no ceremonies for demonstrating work? Three, two, and one. The best answer can be found in 5.2.5 in the Agile Practice Guide. It reads, in iteration-based Agile, the team demonstrates all completed work items at the end of the iteration. In flow-based Agile, which of course Kanban would fall into, the team demonstrates completed work when it is time to do so, usually when enough features have accumulated into a set that is coherent. Teams include the product owner, need feedback to decide how early to ask for product feedback. Teams, including the product owner, need feedback to decide how early to ask for product feedback. So the best answer is B. All right, let's go to our next question. You are the team facilitator and coach. Your team is currently experiencing work delays and overruns due to insufficiently refined product backlog items. What is the best course of action? Is it A, servant leader should help clear these obstacles and do the heavy planning? Is it B, most likely the team doesn't know the options they have, consider a coach? Is it C, the product owner and the team should workshop stories together? Or is it D, have the Scrum Master create better acceptance criteria and definition of done for the team? Three, two, and one. Let's take a look at these options and use the process of elimination. Taking a look at A servant leader should help clear these obstacles and do the heavy planning. We don't do heavy planning in Agile, so we're going to cancel A. A is bogus just from the way it's worded. B, most likely the team doesn't know the options they have. Consider a coach. Well, it says you are the team facilitator and coach. So why would you look for another coach? You should be able to do your job as a coach. So getting another coach is not the answer. By the time that coach ramps up and understands the project, the team has moved on to another sprint. C, We'll come back to C and let's take a look at D. Have the Scrum Master create better acceptance criteria and definition of done for the team. Well, the acceptance criteria for each story and the definition of done for the team is not done by one person. It's done by a number of people. So it cannot be D. Best answer is working together. Workshop stories together. Create stories, decompose stories, all that. And that is why that is the best answer. Let's go to another question here. Your Scrum team is currently experiencing a lot of technical debt and degraded code quality. What should be done about this? Is it A, the product owner should provide a better product roadmap? Is it B, velocity should be considered when the Scrum Master creates the sprint goal? Is it C, refactoring, agile modeling, and automated code quality analysis? Is it D, conduct retrospectives with all stakeholders to better decide on requirements? All right, 3, 2, and 1. Let's take a look at these options. Using the process of elimination again, we'll take a look at option A. The product owner should provide a better product roadmap. Now, while the product owner could be involved in creating a roadmap, product owner is not the sole person to do so. And secondly, it reads a lot of technical debt and degraded code quality. This degraded code quality is not the fault of a product roadmap. This is to do with the team. This is to do with how work is being done. And it has nothing to do with the product roadmap. And saying the product owner should provide a better roadmap means there's no understanding of Agile if that's the choice. So very poor understanding of it, because the roadmap is done by a number of people. Let's take a look at B. Velocity should be considered when the Scrum Master creates the sprint goal. Again, this is false. The Scrum Master does not create the sprint goal. The sprint goal is all about what the team decides. And of course, when we say team, we're talking about the Scrum team. So this is a Scrum team thing. But of course, we have the product owner at the helm who decides what we're going to do, prioritizes the backlog, and focuses on value. Let's read option D. Conduct retrospectives with all stakeholders to better decide on requirements. Well, could retrospectives help better understand requirements or better decide on them? They could, but it's definitely not with all stakeholders. That is a false statement saying that a retrospective should be conducted with all stakeholders, because whatever you do in the retrospective needs to be within the team, the core team, the Scrum team. So D doesn't hold. And that leaves us with refactoring, agile modeling, and automated code quality analysis. And that is the correct answer. So when in debt, refactoring, agile modeling, pervasive testing, automated code analysis, and the definition of done are things that can help. This is on page 58 of the Agile Practice Guide, and all of that language there as far as what to do when you're encountering various problems in Agile. Highly recommend you read that page, 58 in the Agile Practice Guide. And that concludes our review of the process piece. We had more questions in the process piece than the people piece, because of course, you know, process is 50% of your exam. I hope this gives you some context for the process piece. Remember, you're going to have agile, predictive, hybrid. You take care. I'll see you in the final episode where we address the business domain. See you soon.